Okay, good morning, everybody. This week's story includes 3 tzaddikim, I think.
Did you count right?
I don't know. I had some l'chaim earlier. So basically, how does the story go? The Baal Shem Tov, before he was known, he would go around from town to town. People didn't know who he was. He seemed like a simple person, but he had a lot of stories from the Gemara and from tzaddikim, and he would go around different towns and tell people these stories. And a lot of the townspeople would crowd around and listen very, very intently. So he came to a certain town in Galicia, and he was saying a part of the Gemara, a story in the Gemara where there was a rich man. It's a story about a rich man who brought a carbon. Now he's saying the story, and there was a certain water carrier by the name of Eliezer Lipa, I believe, or Lipa Eliezer, I don't know which one came first. We'll just call him Reb Lipa, let's say, yeah? He's a water carrier. And he sees this big crowd, and he sees one of his friends, Reb Zalman Baruch, who's also a water carrier, amongst the people, and he says, let's see what's going on. He goes, listen to the story. What's the story? So there's this rich man who wants to bring a carbon, and the cow is a very big, fat cow, a really mehudrdik carbon. And at some point, very close to the Har Bayis, to where they're going to bring the carbon, the animal stops and doesn't budge. And no matter how much you try to push it and to cajole it to come, nothing's working. So, and then there's a poor guy who's walking by. He had just some greens, some vegetables for his family, and he happily tried to to bribe the animal to come towards him with these greens, and it worked. He gave a little bit to nibble, and he kept moving and moving until they brought it all the way to the Har Bayis, to the Beis HaMikdash, and they were able to bring the carbon. And the rich man had a dream that night that basically was saying, as great as your carbon was, the sacrifice that this poor man gave of his meager greens, that what he had for his family, was greater than your carbon. Oof. Now, it's not coming to discount what the rich man did. What is it saying? This rich man, he brought the best carbon he could. And he was so happy he was able to bring that he also brought a shlamim, which was, I think, a sheep. And he gave all the proper, parts that you're supposed to the kohanim. And he made a whole feast with his family. He really did the mitzvah properly. Nevertheless, because Hashem desires the heart, and this poor person gave whatever he had with, all the joy and all the heart that he could, that was worth more to Hashem than the, legitimately great carbon of the rich man. So Rabbi Eliezer Lipa hears this, and he's so inspired by this idea. He's like, I have to find a way to serve Hashem this way. And for a few days he didn't know what to do. He couldn't rest. He had this on his mind. He was constantly thinking, how can I serve God in such a pure way? And then he thinks, one second. I have 4 rich clients. They give me, they pay me more than a regular amount for water, for bringing them water. And my friend Reb Zalman Baruch, who can't, he's actually struggling, he gets paid half the price for half the regular price for water. Why? Because he brings it to the shuls. He brings it to the different, Batei Midrash, the houses of learning, and he delivers the water over there to the shuls and to the Beis Medrash. So they pay him less because he gives them a discount. So he said, if I switch he had 4 rich families. If I switch 4 of my rich families, give it to him, he'll make more money, and I will be able to bring water to the people to wash their hands and to use it for kedusha. That's me sacrificing something for a greater cause. And he speaks to his wife, and his wife agrees. She's overjoyed also to do it. And Reb Zalman Baruch also didn't hesitate because he's going to make a better living now. And from then on, Eliezer Lipa and his wife, they would go and they made less money, but they didn't care. They were so happy they were able to do this mitzvah. and every time they would take the water every time they would draw the water, they would do so with the intent of bringing it to people to wash their hands, and it immediately filled them with joy, and they really had this level of serving Hashem. It's a short story, but the highlight of the story is that by Chassidim we know that they were the reason that Eliezer Lipa and his wife did not have children. And after that story, they actually were blessed with 2 children. And they grew up to be Reb Zusha from Manipali and Reb Eliezer of Lizensk. Of Lizenik, exactly. So we see from here how great it is. And again, there's nothing. There's not in Shulchan Aruch. There's nothing here that says you must do this. They decided they were going to serve Hashem in a way that they're going to give it their all, and in a place of total selflessness. And that not only gave a couple who didn't have children, but gave them the caliber of children which is far and few in between. Legendary, exactly. Okay, good tavach everybody. May we be zoichet to serve Hashem the same way and see miracles in our lives. It is Pesach Sheni, live, currently. So eat them crackers, eat them unleavened crackers.
Second chance for us.
And as they say in Yiddish, Sidona nitkin farfalin. There is no such thing as a lost cause. All right, good tavach everybody. Thank you very, very much.
I am an ancient wall.
Remember, smash that like button, subscribe, and we love Benny Krause's mother. Thank you very much, and have a good night.